And we start the build by placing down a triangle foundation. We will now extend it using triangular ceilings to form the base of what we need to do. It's important that you place the fence foundations now exactly in between the triangle ceilings, or the circle will be crooked later on. As you can see here, the fence foundation falls down to the ground. I'm going to show you a trick how to fix that later. But for now, let's just put these fence foundations exactly in between the triangle ceilings. Now this is the triangle that needs to be rotated in order to make the fence foundation behave. So if you rotate it like this, then it will work. Now the next step is to put down more fence foundations based on these new angles. So you place down 3 more for each triangle, and you just do it all around this structure. This is how we want it to look. If this was using no clip, we could put down pillars straight away, but now we need to extend so that we can put down another set of fence foundations. It can be very tricky to get these snap points right, but it is a necessary thing, unfortunately, to do. Otherwise you will not be able to get all of the sides that is needed. And several snap point toggles later, here we are. Now, the next step is to put down pillars at the edge of all the fence foundations. This will serve as the base for the circle that we're going to be creating soon. Once we've gotten this far and we have a 24-sided circle, we're able to remove the stuff inside if you want. But we're going to keep it for the time being. Let's just extend this to the correct diameter of the circle that we want. We have a 9 pillars extension plus the 2 fence foundations in the middle. Depending on exactly how large you want to make the circle, you have different ways of making the wall at the edge of the circle. This size means you will get a wall that is not exactly matching up, but it will allow us to make an interesting pattern for the wall. And you can use a dino gateway to get in and out. And we have a completed circle. Now that the pillars are done, let's focus on the edge so we can make a wall. The pattern that we're going with is a combination of square and triangle ceilings, and it will be a repeating pattern all around the edge. Now this is the pattern that we want. So let's get it all placed down. And we're done. As you can see, it repeats around the whole base. Now the interesting thing about this pattern is that if you place walls on these triangle ceilings, you will get a gap that exactly fits a dino gateway. And also, since that dino gateway is exactly 2 ceilings wide, we can use this existing center ceiling, place a wall, and extend 2 more ceilings that are exactly the width of the dino gateway. Looks good. Now, in order to make a nice transition towards the ground, let's remove the outer pillar and place a foundation there instead. And let's do that all around the base. No ugly gaps towards the ground. Now let's take care of the inside of the base. I'm placing down a wall here, 2 ceilings from the center. The reason why I'm choosing this exact radius is the fact that on this level all of the walls will match perfectly with each other. So you get a nice wall that has no gaps and no overlapping. Gonna fix the middle here as well. Put down some walls to just hide the pillars. Now we can do some cleaning as well. Remove the innermost fence foundations and exchanging the wood with stone. Make it look a bit nicer. And now it's time to start looking at the actual ceiling. So I'm building up from the center circle out all the way. The pillars will provide the structural support that you need. So what we have here is a 4 wall high and 6 ceilings wide structure. You need to put down a fence foundation in the very middle of this, which will allow you to place a pillar there. Now if this was done using no clip, we could just simply use this structure where you just plain and simply put the stairs out from the center. The problem that we have though is that this will obstruct. So we need to create a different type of pattern for this ceiling. So instead of having everything at the same height, you need to alternate the heights. So this will not work. So let's take a look at what should work instead. So now we have prepared the ceiling. We can remove these old ones. This is the pattern that we're going for. You alternate between 3 and 4 pillars using ceilings to raise the pillars slightly. You have 3 pillars and 4 races, and then you have 3 pillars and 2 races alternatively in between the pillars that you place. Now that we have the pillar structure in place, let's extend out. You need to extend one ceiling out from each pillar. This will allow us to put down stairs that are overlapping, so there won't be any gaps. You can place these wooden catwalks if you want, just to spice it up a little bit on the inside, and then fill the gaps with walls. On the outside here, we're gonna run into some issues with the placement of the stairs. Sometimes when the snap points are too close to each other, the game won't let you place the actual stair. So what you do then is that you build down using just regular walls and ceiling, so that you can provide a new snap point for the correct placement of the stairs, as you can see that I'm doing here. It's not always consistent, it depends on the exact placement, so sometimes you need to do this and sometimes you don't. In order to complete the roof, we need the ramps. I'm using Adobe ramps here. You can use wooden ramps or metal ramps or whatever you feel like. Place them like this on the center ceiling for each segment. Add a little bit of detail up to the top. Now let's look in the center. You can use the existing triangular structure that we were basing our fence foundations off of in the beginning. You can use that to build up. My aim here was to make a greenhouse of the center area, but you can of course do whatever you feel like doing here. And now we get to the last part of the tutorial. Let's build the wall pattern. So what I'm doing here is that I'm putting down fence foundations so I can place pillars. It's important that you place those first, otherwise they will obstruct. You cannot put them in after you put walls in. You line up a wooden dino gateway just in between these walls. Place it down. Once you get it straight. Now let's use the snap point in the center of the ceiling to put down fence foundations, which will be half of ceiling wide. That will allow us to put down more walls. So we're gonna have a pattern where you have dino gateway on every other segment. And you're gonna have these pillar structures for the rest. Now in order to be able to build off of this, I'm going to put down a pillar here in the center. It's also a nice divider in between. Then I can build up with these railings to create a window look. I will do the same with this one. And now we have a completed wall. This build is very symmetrical, meaning that all you have to do now is to replicate this on the rest of the sides and you will have a completed base. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. I figured I'd be a bit more explaining than I normally is, so it's not a speed build as such. It was really fun to build with official settings again, and the challenge is a bit harder, but it requires you to be more creative when it comes to solving your issues that you have. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.